All right, so I just switched to this brand new carrier called Really Wireless. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys my overall honest opinion about it. We've been using it for an entire 2 weeks straight, and we're gonna tell you if it's worth switching over your current provider. They did give me access to a new number as well as a year's worth of data. I'm giving you that transparency up front, but everything in this review, I'm going to be fully honest, just so you guys know whether it's worth it or not. So what makes this company different? Not leaking a bunch of your private data and your information, so you don't have to put any social security numbers, you don't have to sign any contracts, you don't have to do any of that. With this company, you are month to month and you can cancel whenever you want. That's good for when you have like a tight budget, or some months are just you can't really spend too much on something, so you have to cancel it. If you were to cancel T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, they're going to hit you with bigger fees just to get out of the contract, and you don't want to do that. They do a lot of sketchiness when it comes to trying to get out of the contract. They're going to hit you with a bunch of unnecessary fees even when you first sign up. Everything is so good to be true. Even if you buy a phone, it's just all terrible. They don't have a bunch of these like fluff perks, I like to call them. So they're not going to offer you unnecessary stuff that you don't use. Now, this is a eSIM only carrier. So if your phone supports eSIM, then you're going to have no issues when it comes to this. The setup process was super easy. All I had to do was place my order, which this cost $100 a month per line. But if you use my code, you get 50% off for life, which is insane. And you can either use your existing phone number to get a text for the link and everything to sign up, or you can go ahead and use your email. That's the only like personal information that they give out. They don't ask for your name, they don't ask for a social security number, they don't ask for any of that. It's just an email or a phone number. Once you sign up, you have full access to your account. It's just an ID number, it's not an actual name. They don't know your name. You have access to like VPNs, how much your monthly is, whenever your recurring monthly plan is going to be. So the next thing, if you want to update your payment information, if you want to cancel it straight up, then you can just do all that from that page. So it's super simple. They give you a QR code that you have to scan. So I recommend, opening this off a different device. That way you can scan the QR code. If you're doing it on iPhone, it's super easy. It's different for Android, but they give you step-by-step instructions on how to set up the eSIM. For iPhone, all you have to do is scan it, and it goes through the process on your iPhone. I had no issues when it came to that. Now, if you guys made it this far, I really appreciate if you dropped a like on the video. Videos like this take a lot of time, money, and effort in order to create, and I would appreciate if you dropped a like. You don't have to subscribe. If you want to, it's right down there. Let's jump back into the video. I did a brand new number, so it was not transferring anything. I know if you were to transfer a number, it still is really, really easy to do that. Obviously, if you don't have any carrier plan, if you're off the carrier plan and you switch, it's going to be a little bit harder to get off of the current carrier. But once you hop onto this new carrier, it's a lot better. Once I did that, my eSIM was ready and I had full access to 5G data, and I just turned it on settings, 5G only, and I was getting the best possible speeds. Now, this uses T-Mobile Wi-Fi, their towers, their speeds and performance, as well as the range. So if T-Mobile is good in your area, you might as well just get this as well, because it's cheaper in the long run. And like I said, there's no fluff or anything like that. It has 10 gigabytes of hotspot, so you get, that amount. Now, when it comes to the consistency over the entire week, right now I'm getting 5 bars as I'm recording this right now. You can probably see that. So I've been using it consistently for 2 weeks. It has no dead spots when it came to it. When I'm like moving in a car or even on a phone call, I've been on 2 days worth of phone calls when it came to this test. So I've been doing a lot of phone calling, and specifically on this number and specifically using this data. No issues whatsoever, no dropped calls, no anything like that. I was able to send a bunch of text messages with this as well, answer any business stuff. So I'm using this as like a business number. I'm answering calls, doing all that. I'm using it like just a regular phone line, signing up for things, doing all that. It's just, the cool thing is that they actually block out like a bunch of those attackers and spam callers and stuff like that. So you're not going to get it as much as you were to get it on the bigger carriers that usually like get hacked and your information gets sold to a bunch of people on the black market and all that stuff. If that were to happen, they even give like $1 million worth of identity theft protection, insurance, and stuff like that. They make sure to protect you even though they don't know who you are, because they don't, physically have access to all that information, but they take care of you. Now we're going to go over just the price versus the value. Whenever you're doing a bigger carrier brand, of course, it's going to be like $100 roughly for one line. That's basically the same thing for this one. But if you, like I said, use the 50% off discount, it's going to be $50 a month. So we're going to go off of that. $50 a month, which is really good. So no matter how many lines you get, it's going to always be $50 a month, right? If you do that code. For the bigger brands, it's $100 for the first line, no discounts. And then they have hidden fees and all that, like activation and just a bunch of other unnecessary things that you wouldn't even use. But as you go up on their tiers, then it's going to get cheaper. Like once you get to the third and fourth line for their phone plan, that's when it starts to reach closer to $50 range. It's still not going to touch the $50 range, so you're still saving money even if you switch on this plan, which is insane. I've tried other of these types of carriers where they buy wholesale off of those bigger companies and then sell it to you for cheaper, like Mint Mobile or Visible and stuff like that. I've tried other carriers like that for sure, and usually they have the lower end of the spectrum. This one, you're still getting 5G data. You're still getting fast data. So overall, I noticed no difference when it came to the current plan that I have, which is Spectrum, versus Really. It was practically identical. So I had no issues when it came to that. It's perfect for people that want to cut the contracts. They're tired of their current carrier plan. They're trying to find a cheaper version. You're not going to save hundreds of dollars a month, but you will save, the headache of having to deal with the bigger phone carriers. Because like I said, you're going to be on the phone with them for a long time. Just for them to say, oh yeah, you have an unexpected fee. Like we've been through those processes. Even when you switch to another carrier, they really want you. They'll give you incentives like, oh yeah, we'll give you a free phone, or oh yeah, this month we'll make it a little bit cheaper, but next month we'll raise the price. Like they just do a bunch of nonsense that just like, where does this fee come from? And you can't do anything about it because you signed the contract. So the fact that this is no contract, they don't know who you are, your social security number is safe, and you can cancel whenever you want. This was the best possible plan I've noticed. I will give you guys updates, don't worry. So if you're going to see more updates in the future, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one. We out.